Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Channel Claire. I hope that you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy, crazy world. Now, if you are an occasional royal watcher, as I am, then you know that Harry and Meghan just came off of their first unofficial royal tour in Nigeria. This past weekend, they were there and did various events, and it was in my opinion, very successful unofficial tour. Okay, and I'm gonna call it unofficial because they are not working royals. However, they are working as the royals, in my opinion, should be doing. And I feel like they just work. It comes natural for Harry and Meghan, and it's just, I feel like they exude everything that I feel like young royals or middle aged royals at their peak should. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like their warmth, the reception that they have of pretty much everyone, they just get along with people. And I know that there's a sect of people who think that they're completely awful and that everybody hates them and that they're shunned from Hollywood and nobody really wants to have anything to do with them. But that's seemingly untrue. They went over there to Nigeria, had a very warm welcome. Meghan looked amazing in all of her fits and looks. She styled herself, meaning outfits, hair, makeup, from what I've read, which is, I mean, that is unheard of nowadays. Everybody has a glam team. Even the housewives have a glam team to get themselves together just to go down and have dinner in their hotel lobby for their show. I mean, like, they can't even get themselves ready on that level. And Meghan went ahead and styled her own self for all of her looks for their tour over in Nigeria and knocked out every single look. And I'm just wanting to know, I'm just wanting to know how her hair always looks perfect like that. Like, it doesn't get frizzed up or anything like that. Like, what product are you using in the heat where your hair isn't frizzing up at all? You know what? Like, I just, regardless, she did an amazing job. Harry looked well. Oh my goodness, all his fits looked well. He just looks so confident in himself. He has a mission. He has his wife by his side. He has his children. He has his family. And I feel like he takes great pride in the fact that he stood on business and saved them from all that we have seen play before our eyes. And still, when it comes here to William and Kate, they, Harry and Meghan are doing what they should be doing. And it's just so obvious to see that they can't produce that, obviously, because Kate has cancer. And the fact that from even in the beginning, before finding out about Kate having cancer, the difference of the tours in Nigeria from Kate and William going out there, being propped up and, carried through the crowds, reaching at children through fences because they can't be bothered to be at close proximity to them. The imagery of Harry and Meghan being in the crowds with the people, taking pictures, being up close and personal, huge natural smiles, natural keyword. Uh, it, if you put those two images together, it's just like, it's so bad. Like, it's just so bad. And it always brings me back to it would have never worked. Like, when I think about it at its core with these two couples and Harry supposing to be the position of being the spare and William being the heir, and just how Harry and Meghan are so much more natural at this job than what I feel, in my opinion, William and Kate are. That competition between the two, it was always going to be a row. There was always going to be some issue. Whether it was this, that, it was never going to work, because at the end of the day, William was going to feel a type of way at the reception that Harry and Meghan got anywhere they went. It was always going to, you know, they're just better at the job. They're better at it. It comes natural to Harry and Meghan. We saw it. I waited a little bit because I wanted to see what the media was going to do and what their reception was going to be. And I was surprised that, even the media couldn't really bash them, besides the usual suspects who always have a reason to criticize Harry and Meghan off of everything. But for the large majority, from what I saw, they got a good reception in the media. Even some people, I was surprised, saying, oh, they wanted Harry and Meghan back in the fold. They could help the royals and this, that. I was like, excuse me, what? Weren't y'all the same ones talking about they need to leave and how disrespectful they are and how they turn their backs on Britain and da 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 da? But now you're asking for them back? How quickly the tables turn. But they're giving a show and they're giving a display, Harry and Meghan, of what, in my mind, young royals would be doing at their peak. They have the world as their oyster. They can only go up from here. They are doing it. They have a plan and a vision together. They're on the same page. It clicks and it works. Whoever on their team, maybe in the beginning they were trying to find their footing, but now they have a natural flow. They have Invictus, they have mental health, they have the children. Like, they know what they stand for. And I feel like the other couple are just floundering. And I'm sorry, I wish that they would just put out a little bit of a statement on Kate and how she's doing with her treatments. I always preface it by saying Kate owes us nothing, okay? But it would be nice for them to let the public know that she's responding well to her treatments. This past weekend, Camilla was out. I mean, literally, there's people with rumors out saying that they're soft launching Rose Hanbury because she was spotted out with Camilla this past weekend. The rumored mistress. I mean, to the point where Rose had to put out a statement via her lawyer that she's not hooking up with William. The alleged mistress is hanging out with the mother-in-law of Kate, with whom we have not seen since December of last year. The imagery of that, there could be literally nothing going on, okay? But the optics and imagery of that is just like, who the F is handling these things? And then the imagery of Harry and Meghan coming off of their whirlwind Nigerian tour, where they got to visit the defense headquarters. Harry was saluted coming in. And then we get a photo of William standing in front of this helicopter in some form of military gear. He just looks awkward. It looks like a photo op. He, on his face, looks like he knows he looks out of place and awkward as hell. I just don't get what his team is doing. Who is behind all of these missteps? Who is in charge of the image of the Prince and Princess of Wales? And I also feel like, yes, when people have cancer, it takes a while for them to come to terms. Like, I completely understand that. Finding out you have cancer, having a young family, I can only imagine how overwhelming it is. It just seems like, from the outside looking in, and from the fact that we really haven't seen Kate, it feels like they're treating her like the sick and shut in. And maybe it's by her own choice. But when people have cancer, that doesn't mean they vanish from society. Like, in my experience, from the people that I know who have been touched by it, that has not been my experience. In this case, it feels like they've completely shut her in. And that's where the rumors come in, where they're saying, well, potentially she's lost her hair, or there's some type of disfigurement going on. People have claimed that she potentially had a stroke in her surgery. There's all types of rumors going on, simply because we really have not seen her in the flesh since last year, December. And here it is after Easter. We're going into June. Trooping of Colors is coming up. We likely won't see her there. And they don't put out a statement saying that her treatment is going one way or the other, to ensure the public that things are okay and are going well and she's progressing well. I mean, she is a young woman. I think that would be of national concern, that, like, oh my gosh, like, she has this cancer, we don't know what type. People are going to want to get early prevention from themselves. Like, I just think of everything that could be done right now, and all the, you know, raising of money that can be done right now, and fundraising, and just all the opportunities of how they could really bolster Kate up. But instead, they're allowing this conspiracy to fester. And at some point, it's going to bubble up and it's going to pop. Because you got the Spanish out there writing articles, and they have been standing on business since the beginning of this, saying that Kate is not well. There is a Spanish reporter who is standing on business that Kate is not well, and if you follow this, you likely know what I'm talking about. So it's just interesting to watch. We have, like, seemingly this golden couple just thriving. They're not even working royals. They are thriving. And it seems like in every area. And then we have on the other side the future king and future queen. Just, it's sad to see. Okay, so the day is done. I'm chilling out now. And I go on Twitter and I see the portrait that was done of King Charles. And I'm just like, okay, this was definitely a choice of aesthetic and artistic, creative direction. I don't know what the vision was supposed to be, where they pulled this from, but it looks like he's falling back into like a fiery inferno, and he's being sucked in by hellfire. Okay, this is the photo, the portrait that Jonathan Yeo did of King Charles III as like his portrait. So already seeing this, I was just like, okay, it's a choice. I mean, he's blending into this background. There's so much symbolism here. He's really blending into this background, and that's what he's doing in this reign. He's really not taking charge of anything. He's just blending in. I feel like he's like that Homer Simpson meme when he just blends into the bushes, because it's like he's not doing anything. He's not taking action. He has not taken a stand to try to unify his family, which in turn is like, okay, you're supposed to unify your country and the Commonwealth and this, that, and the other. It doesn't seem right. And I will say they've got, like, if you like zoom in on his face, I think that he did well at replicating what is actuality. But the background, how he's blending into the background like that, the symbolism of that, to me, is just not good. It's just not good. And so if that wasn't bad enough to see that portrait where I was already like questioning what's going on here, I see the portrait being unveiled by King Charles himself, okay? And his reaction, the damn picture scared the shit out of him. Look at this. It scared the shit out of him. He literally jumps back as he rips it off. Look at this. Oh shit. Did I do it? Oh no. Look, he jumps. He's like, oh. He's looking at it like, okay. He's clearly scared out of his fucking mind, not expecting that at all. They could have done a really nice sitting down portrait, you know, him in his study or his library, something like that, with a fire next to him, maybe his feet propped up on, you know, the ottoman with his favorite pet or something like that. Camilla sitting in the background, you know, him, what the fuck? They're like, what was the creative direction? Who is working for the royals? Who is working for the royals? Because they do a horrible job with the PR, with the imagery, picking out, I'm not blaming the artist, but picking out creative direction for like an official portrait. My question is why? Just why? Who was making the choices and or decisions? Just like Rose Hanbury being touted out and being seen with Camilla this past weekend. Like, who is okaying this shit when we have not seen Kate Middleton since December of last year? Who would be okaying that when it has been all up and down international effing news that this woman is the mistress of the next king, Prince William? And then all of a sudden she's showing up at events with close family. Further breathing life into the fact that she's like being soft launched to be Kate's effing replacement, which would be literally, I would lose my effing mind on this goddamn show. Do you know how heinous that would be if they just carted Kate off and like, because she got cancer or who knows, you know, carted her off and just brought in someone new? I mean, they did it with Diana. I'm just grateful that Meghan was able to get away, and was in Nigeria thriving. Actually, let me look at her outfits, because there was one, I want to just see which one was my favorite. Hold on.